January 1st, 2021, Gainesville Police Department Corporal Scott Bertzek was driving near 6200 West Newberry Road in Gainesville, Florida. Reaching for a lighter while at a green light, he slammed into the rear of a car in front of him. The impact was loud, but fortunately there were no injuries reported immediately. The driver and passengers of the struck vehicle later sought medical care, citing concerns of potential injuries. Officer Brooke Shutterly responded to the scene. She immediately identified Bertzek and noted his difficulty standing, slurred speech, and trouble retrieving his license. Despite being off duty, Bertzek's involvement raised questions, especially when his behavior displayed signs of potential intoxication. Officer Shutterly requested assistance from a supervisor.
Do what we gotta do before I can go, man.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Trying to get it in.
Okay. And you are silver car?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you want to go back over there, I'll come get your info in just a second.
Alright, thank you.
Had his insurance pulled up.
Yeah.
We have a couple options with this. It's really cut and dry, so if you want to just go through insurance, you can. If you want a full-fledged report, we can do that. However you want to go about it.
How long will the report gonna take? A long time?
It usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes for me to get the driver's exchange done.
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I get your driver's license and if you have your registration as well? And are you the registered owner of the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Did you have any passengers?
Yeah, my brother was in town with me.
Okay. Is he still here?
Yeah, he right over there.
Okay, cool. Is the guy with the hat on?
Yes, ma'am. This right here.
Yes, sir.
This right here.
Yeah.
The situation escalated when Bertzek admitted he was angry and exhausted from personal issues, including a recent divorce. Despite his claims of sobriety, his demeanor and actions gave reason for a thorough investigation. Shutterly held him at the scene, ensuring that every step was supervised. While waiting, Bertzek, irritated but compliant, made it clear he didn't want to inconvenience his colleagues.
I would never do that to you.
Okay. I'm very uncomfortable right now.
And I apologize for putting you in that position.
Okay.
Are you on?
Yes. Yes, I am. And I'm going to remain on
Fair enough.
because integrity.
She did it. I don't give a What man?
Bravo 23 and all channels 1014.
Whatever. Divorce is divorce. I don't give a fuck.
Moments later, a tow truck was called for the damaged vehicles. As other officers arrived to assist, they couldn't ignore the growing awkwardness of one of their own being involved.
Whatever. Divorce is divorce. I don't give a fuck. Oh, Christ.
Shutterly checked to make sure everything was in order. She confirmed that the driver had already called their own tow truck, not one arranged by the police. The insurance had approved the tow and the driver seemed to be patiently waiting. Shutterly then confirmed that the tow truck was on its way, but there was a delay. The officers were trying to decide if they should call a rotation tow to speed things up. New Year's Eve made everything more complicated as most services were slower.
Well aware.
Okay.
Fair enough.
If we have any spare units,
I will
like you
never
up here at 600 West, I think it's
put anyone in that spot.
3 people from his crew that are...
She's absolutely 100% right in what she's doing.
That's 10-4 and identification.
Are they still sitting in their car?
Somebody's in the driver's seat. Little silver car?
Yep. And are they there?
As Shutterly discussed the tow options with the passenger, the situation seemed to calm down. The passengers were just waiting, not causing trouble. The officers, still alert, decided that it was fine to let the tow company handle it. They agreed to wait, but with the understanding that if the tow didn't show up soon, they'd switch to a rotation tow.
Alright. We're going to do the walk and turn now. So, if you could, I'm going to have you stand on that white line. Go ahead and face me. Alright. You're going to put your left foot on the line. Put your right foot in front of it with your right heel touching your left toe. Keeping your hands at your side, like so.
Leaning. Just leaning.
Okay. I'm trying to find the most flat spot.
I'm trying.
Alright.
But I mean, it's leaning, but
Here,
I'm trying.
let's do it this way.
Shutterly noticed that the driver might not be completely sober. She decided to conduct a field sobriety test to be sure. She explained the test to the driver, instructing him to follow the light with his eyes while keeping his head still. She asked him to remove his glasses for better visibility. After making sure he understood, she began the test. The driver struggled to keep his head still and his eyes moved erratically, failing the first part of the test.
And count your steps out loud. Once you begin, do not stop until the test is completed. Do you understand the instructions? You may begin the test.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Do you want to finish?
Next, Shutterly moved on to the walk and turn test. She instructed the driver to stand on a white line and place one foot in front of the other, heel to toe, keeping his hands by his sides. The driver had difficulty staying balanced, swaying back and forth as he tried to follow the instructions. His steps were uneven and he failed to complete the test properly. Shutterly noted these failures as signs of potential impairment.
Unless Guyton is able to brake. I really would rather not take him up to DOJ and do it in their BTO room. Huh?
I'm a BTO.
Are you?
Yeah.
That makes my life infinitely easier.
Bedford on the way.
Yeah. You want me to call him?
If you don't mind. Just because, we've told them to meet you at the station.
As Officer Shutterly worked on completing the details of the accident, she focused on the next steps. The damaged bumper from the car now lay at the edge of the parking lot. The driver of the other car asked if leaving it there would be considered littering. Shutterly calmly explained that as long as the bumper wasn't in the middle of the road, it wouldn't cause any problems. But most importantly, they shared this kiss.
Here's what we got, bud. This is the game plan for right now.
I know you can't. And you should. I would never ask you to.
You're gonna ride with me. Okay? No. Give me a second, Brandon.
Yes, ma'am.
So the bumper is completely detached. If they leave it here, would that be like littering or whatever?
I'm not worried about it.
Okay, because it won't snap on and they can't.
As the discussion wound down, Shutterly introduced herself and mentioned that she worked with a local school. The driver, a teacher, recognized her name and shared some updates about the school staff. They spoke briefly about changes, with Shutterly showing interest in how things had shifted over time.
Yes, you are, because they're watching.
No.
Yes, you are. They're watching.
Okay.
We'll cuff you over by my car.
Yes, you will.
Yes.
They're watching.
Yes.
You've been compliant. Can I at least cuff you in the front? Killing me. Bell does have to come unlock the door.
Bertzik began to accept his position. As other officers approached, the question of whether to cuff him came up. Bertzik insisted that it was necessary given the protocol and the presence of onlookers. Officer Shutterly, understanding his point, agreed but offered to cuff him near her car for discretion. She even agreed to cuff him in the front, an unusual gesture meant to preserve some dignity. Bertzik, though embarrassed, appreciated the courtesy and managed a small, ironic smile.
What are you doing here? Change your battery, woman.
I'm gonna be off the air in a minute anyway.
At the station, Corporal Bertzik sat quietly, awaiting the next steps in the process. After that, Shutterly hugged Bertzik and he apologized quietly. The earlier bravado had faded, replaced by a subdued demeanor. Officers began the formal booking process, starting with documenting the breathalyzer results. His blood alcohol readings, 0.156% and 0.153%, were nearly twice the legal limit. Shutterly calmly explained the implications of these results while avoiding unnecessary judgment. Corporal Bertzik was charged with driving under the influence with property damage and eventually pleaded no contest to the misdemeanor charge. He was fined $974, ordered to complete 50 hours of community service, attend various substance abuse and DUI classes, and faced a 6-month suspension of his driver's license. Also, Bertzik was sued by the driver and passenger of the vehicle he struck, resulting in a settlement. A subsequent internal investigation by the Gainesville Police Department found that Bertzik violated City of Gainesville Policy E3, Rule 44A, related to misdemeanors involving DUI. As a result, Bertzik received a written notice, a 5-day suspension without pay, and the execution of a last chance agreement and release. During the investigation, Bertzik claimed he was not impaired at the time of the crash, but admitted to consuming a strong alcoholic drink during the crash investigation. Florida's Criminal Justice Standards and Training Commission also penalized Bertzik. On August 31, 2022, the CJSTC imposed a 5-day retroactive suspension, a 90-day prospective suspension, and a 1-year probation period. Bertzik was required to provide proof of successful completion of approved substance abuse counseling during probation. But now if you think that's crazy, then I am sure you haven't seen this video at your right-hand side.